My friend, let's be real, no sugarcoating here. Are you happy being the fool on call, always chasing after her, picking up the crumbs that fall from the table, and settling for less than you actually deserve? Because if that's what makes you happy, then stop wasting your time right here, right now. But if, by some miracle, there's still a shred of dignity left inside you, if you really want to wake up to life and finally understand why this woman keeps coming back, or worse, why you keep falling into the same traps, then sit down and listen to what I have to say. I'll tell you why she really comes back, and I'll tell you right away. It's not for that foolish reason you like to believe. She's not interested in you, man. She wants control, assurance, and the certainty that you're still in the palm of her hand, ready to be manipulated and discarded whenever she sees fit. If you have even a trace of self-respect, it's time to open your eyes and listen closely. This video is for those who are ready to stop being the doormat and finally turn the tables. Here, we don't tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear to grow. So if you can handle the harsh truth, let's begin. But I'm warning you, there's no room for the weak here. Number one, it's not you. She misses. It's your validation. Let's get real, my friend, because someone needs to wake you up from this fairy tale. I know that deep down, you're still completely in love with this woman, believing that when she comes back, it's because she can't live without you, because she's madly in love. But let me tell you something that's going to sting a little. She doesn't miss you, nor your boring conversations. What she really misses is the validation you gave her. You treated this woman like she was the last cookie in the jar, pumped her up so much that she kept you around like a luxury accessory, like a keychain. Not because she was in love. That would be asking too much. She was addicted to the feeling of having someone crawling at her feet, worshipping her, begging for a bit of attention. She loved being treated like a queen, with you as the servant, always doing the impossible to keep her satisfied. Now, let's face reality. Do you think she wants you back out of love? Or is it just because she misses having someone licking the ground she walks on? Guess what, buddy? It's the second option. This story is older than you think. Especially with nice guys, hard-working men who kill themselves to please everyone but themselves. True love? Ha! Forget it. She was using you to inflate her ego, nothing more. So, when you disappear, what happens? The supply of validation dries up. And then, of course, she comes running back. But don't fool yourself, man. She's not after you because she likes you, your smile, or your company. What she wants is to recover that wonderful feeling of being adored, of having someone chasing after her like a puppy. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep deceiving yourself? Are you going to keep believing that this woman is looking for you out of love, when in reality, all she wants is to reclaim the throne and get her #1 fan back? Think carefully, because this is the harsh truth you need to face. If you want to keep being her doormat, go ahead. But don't come crying to me later when you're once again stepped on and thrown away like trash. You've been warned. Number 2, you've become a tree of uncertainty. Let's be honest here, my friend, because someone needs to give you a wake-up call. You used to be like that lemon tree in her backyard, always there, strong, producing fruit for her to pick whenever she pleased. Every little lemon you produced was another guarantee for her, the guarantee that you were always available, ready to please. She picked those fruits without mercy, making her validation juice every time she needed it, without hesitation. But then, out of nowhere, the lemon tree stopped bearing fruit. What was once constant, guaranteed, and even predictable simply dried up. And what does that mean for her? It means her glass is empty, that the security of having you in the palm of her hand vanished like smoke. And now she's desperate, trying to understand why, all of a sudden, her juice of certainties ran out. When the guy she always had in her pocket disappears, or stops being that nice guy she always counted on, she freaks out. Scarcity is what makes her lose control, my friend. Suddenly she starts trying harder, chasing after what used to be way too easy. Because, my dear friend, let me tell you something. Women hate uncertainty. The fact that you're no longer there within her reach drives her crazy. She can't stand the idea of losing control, of no longer being able to grab that fresh lemon whenever she feels like it. So, when you pull away, when you stop being that predictable, always available guy, she comes running back. Why? Because she wants the juice of certainty back. That comfort of knowing you'll be there to feed her ego, no matter what. She hates not having you available, not being able to predict your moves. And it's in this desperation that she tries to reverse the situation. But now, the question you need to ask yourself is, do you really want to be her lemon tree? Do you want to keep being picked, squeezed, and then tossed aside until the next need arises? Or are you finally going to wake up and realize that the real power lies in becoming the tree of uncertainty that she can no longer control? Because, my friend, in life, those who become rare become valuable, and what's valuable is what everyone wants. It's time to wake up to this reality. Number 3, she needs to come out on top. Let's be really clear here, because it's time for you to face reality once and for all. Many women, even when the relationship has turned into a complete mess, won't let go of the bone for anything. They don't change, they don't make any effort to save what's already falling apart, but at the same time, they don't want to be seen as the ones left behind. Now, when you, as a man, take the initiative and say, enough, it hurts their ego in ways you can't even imagine. They can't stand the idea of coming out of this story as the losers. For them, it's unbearable to see the man come out on top with the title of, I was the one who dumped her. They don't see the breakup as a liberation, as a chance to start over. No, for them it's a personal defeat. And that's where the game changes, my friend. Now it becomes a challenge for her. She'll do everything in her power to pull you back into the relationship, to trap you again in her web, just so she can come out on top, so she can say she was the one who decided to end it, that you came crawling back. She needs to have the last word, the final control. And look, in more serious relationships, like marriages, this need not to lose goes beyond ego or pride. It's about what you bring into her life. It could be financial comfort, emotional security, the stability you provide. She might want to win you back not because she truly loves you, but because she doesn't want to lose what you bring to her life. So, when you decide to put an end to it, don't be surprised if she starts moving mountains to get you back. But be smart. Ask yourself, is she trying to save the relationship out of genuine feelings? Or is it just because she doesn't want to lose the benefits you offer? Many times, the truth is that she just wants to come out of this story without losing, whether it's in the battle of egos or in the perks you provide. So, the decision is yours. Are you going to fall for her play again, just to avoid her losing? Or will you finally value yourself and walk away from this toxic cycle with your head held high? The choice is yours, but let me tell you something. Deep down, she doesn't want you back. She wants what you represent. So open your eyes and see the game for what it really is. Number 4, your distance has rekindled the passion. Let's go, my friend. It's time to face a truth that many people prefer to ignore. Passion in a relationship is like a match. It burns quickly, and if it's not fueled, it goes out before you can blink. That initial flame, that fire that seemed to burn forever, usually lasts a few months, maybe a year, and then it starts to cool down. It's at this point that true love, that more mature, stable one, should take the place of passion to keep the relationship alive. But let's be honest, that rarely happens. The problem is that often love isn't strong enough to make up for the lack of that initial passion, and the relationship goes into autopilot. Lukewarm, dull, lifeless. And it's at this point where many guys mess up big time. They cling too much, smother the relationship, stick like glue, and guess what? That only makes the flame go out faster. Without space for the new, for the mystery, for that feeling that something's at stake, the passion dies completely. But then comes the trick. When you distance yourself, when you stop being so clingy and start living your life in an interesting way, something almost magical can happen. The flame of passion, which was almost dead, can reignite. Want to know why? Because distance creates space, creates mystery, creates curiosity. Suddenly, she's no longer sure what you're doing, who you're with, and it messes with her head. That absolute certainty she had simply disappears, and she starts feeling that little thrill in her stomach again that she had at the beginning of the relationship. That's why, in some cases, when the man comes back after some time apart, the relationship catches fire again, as if the two were meeting for the first time. Your distance gave her the space needed to relive the emotion of uncertainty, the desire to win you over, the passion that was dormant. Now, you're no longer that predictable guy she had in the palm of her hand. You've become the mysterious man who lives an interesting life, who doesn't need her to be happy. And it's exactly that aura of mystery, that independence, that rekindles the flame of passion. Because deep down, we're all attracted to what we can't have easily. And when you become that person she needs to win over again, the game completely changes. So, the next time you think about pulling away, remember, sometimes the best way to reignite passion is to disappear for a while and let her miss you. Let her rediscover the desire that seemed lost. If you want to learn how to use psychological tricks to get into that woman's mind and make her act the way you expect, seeking you out and thinking only of you, read the ebook in the description of this video. After this read, you'll learn how to use your cold side to deeply affect this woman and master the art of seduction. Stop being a doormat and start being the man she truly values. Number 5, she notices your improvements more. You know that old saying about only valuing something when you lose it? Well, it's the absolute truth. And let me tell you something. It works the same way with that woman you like so much. When you're always around, she gets so used to your presence that she doesn't even notice the small changes you make. But when you distance yourself, when you disappear from her sight for a while, then, my friend, things change. Suddenly, every improvement, every detail you've adjusted in your life starts catching her attention like never before. Maybe she rejected you before when you were in a weaker, more needy, more dependent state. But now, seeing that you've picked yourself up, that you've made the necessary changes to become a better version of yourself, her perception completely changes. Now, you're no longer that guy she saw as a sure thing. You've become someone truly worth it, someone she hadn't noticed before. And you know the best part? If you had stayed around lamenting, posting sad photos, and whining about how unfair life is, she wouldn't have given a damn about you. You know why? Because no one wants to be around someone who only brings negativity and weakness. But when you start showing inner peace, genuine happiness, and clear personal progress, it hits her in ways you can't even imagine. She starts realizing what she's losing, what she rejected without a second thought. And suddenly, that new version of you starts looking a lot more attractive. She sees that not only did you survive without her, but you thrived. And it's that growth, that evolution, that makes her reconsider everything. She starts wondering if maybe she made a mistake, if she underestimated who you really are. And most of the time, this makes her want to win you back. But don't fool yourself. She's not interested in you because you changed to please her, but because you changed for yourself. And that's exactly what makes you so irresistible. So the next time you think about taking a break, remember, distance might be the best thing you do for yourself. Not just to improve your life, but to show her that you don't depend on anyone to be happy, and that if she wants to come back, she'll have to work hard to win over this new, much stronger, and more confident version of you. Number 6, she's just checking up on you. Now, let's touch on a point that might be the most frustrating of all. She might simply be checking up on you, monitoring you, with no real interest in coming back or having something serious with you. That's right, man. This woman might be sending you messages, liking your posts, or even stalking your social media out of pure and simple curiosity. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's face reality. While most men only bother to check up on an ex's life when they still feel something or have hopes of getting back together, women have this almost obsessive curiosity about their exes. And the worst part, often they feel absolutely nothing for you. No feelings, no intention of reliving the past. Yet, they'll still take a peek, send a casual message, just to see what you're up to. This behavior can leave you completely confused.
Suddenly you start thinking that maybe she's coming back, that maybe there's still a chance between you two.
But the reality might be much simpler and colder than that. In fact, she might just be killing a momentary curiosity. She wants to know if you're doing better or worse, if you've moved on, or if you're still stuck in the same place, if you found someone new, or if you're still moping around. And you know what the irony is? Most of the time, her curiosity has absolutely nothing to do with wanting to get back together. It's just a way to gauge where you are in life, to satisfy her ego by knowing you might still be hung up on her, or simply to make sure you're not better off without her. It's a low game, but it's the harsh reality. Now, this might leave you thinking that she's interested again, that there's a chance to rekindle the flame. But don't be fooled so easily. What does she really want? Most of the time, absolutely nothing. She just wants to check in, satisfy her curiosity, see if you're still caught up on her while she's already moved on. And if you don't see this, you could end up falling into the same trap as always. The one where she checks in, satisfies her curiosity, and then goes back to her life, leaving you exactly where you were, confused, lost, and trapped in illusions. So, if she sends that unexpected message, pops up liking your old photos, or comments on something you posted, don't be quick to think it means something.
Sometimes it just means she wants to know if you're still into her while she's already turned the page.
And if you fall for this, you'll find yourself in the same situation again. Confused, hopeful, and in the end, disappointed. So, open your eyes and see the situation for what it really is. She might just be checking up on you, but the one who controls what to do with this information is you. Don't bite the bait. Don't open the door for her to come back into your life with no real purpose. Be smart, be strong, and above all, move forward with dignity. Because in the end, you deserve much more than being just a target of passing curiosity. Number 7. She wants to prove something to herself. Let's face another truth that few have the courage to admit. Many times when a woman comes back to look for you, it's not because she wants to reconcile or because she's remorseful. None of that, my friend. She comes back because she needs to prove something to herself. It's an ego game, a need to reaffirm that she still has control over you, that she can still manipulate you whenever she pleases. Think about it. She feels challenged by your absence, maybe even a little insecure because she no longer has you in the palm of her hand like before. And what does she do? She starts looking for you, tries to win you back, but don't be fooled. This isn't love or genuine remorse. She does it to test if she still has the power to make you come back, to make you chase after her once again. This little game has nothing to do with true feelings or a sincere desire to rebuild what you had. In reality, it's all about herself. She wants to know if she's still capable of affecting you, if she can still make you forget all the reasons you distanced yourself in the first place. It's a power game where she only feels victorious when she gets your attention again, even if she has no intention of maintaining anything serious. She wants to prove to herself that, even after everything, she still has you in the palm of her hand, that she can still manipulate you like a puppet. And when she realizes that you still fall for her charm, that you still respond to her touch, she feels in control. Not because she wants to be with you, but because she likes knowing she can still play with your feelings. And this is where the danger lies. If you don't see this game, you end up going back to the same toxic cycle, where she lures you back only to leave you aside again later. She uses you as a piece on her board, as a way to feed her own ego, with no real interest in a future with you. So when she shows up again, pay attention, stop and think. Does she really want something real? Or is she just trying to prove to herself that she can still control you? Many times it's not love, it's not remorse. It's just her need to feel that she still has you in her hands. Don't fall for this game. Preserve your dignity, recognize what's happening, and move on. Because, in the end, you deserve much more than being just a temporary validation for someone's ego. Number 8. She's afraid of being alone. Now, my friend, let's face the truth head on. No beating around the bush. Many times, the only reason this woman comes back to look for you is because she's terrified of one thing: being alone. Exactly. When she realizes that you're no longer there, available to chase after her like an abandoned puppy, the fear of being alone starts screaming inside her. And don't be fooled. This fear is so powerful that it makes her reconsider even that mediocre relationship you had. Let's be very clear. This fear of being alone has nothing to do with love, affection, or any other genuine feeling. None of that. It's pure convenience. She looks around and realizes that without you, her life is emptier, harder to face. Maybe she tried to move on, find someone new, but surprise, surprise, it didn't work out. The new prospects weren't as good as the security you provided. So what does she do? She thinks, better poorly accompanied than alone. And that's when she starts sending you messages, trying to win you back, showing up as if all of a sudden she realized how special you are. But let me tell you something. The reality is much crueler. She doesn't want to be alone, and you're the backup plan. The guy she knows will be there, ready to take her back because in her mind, you're still trapped in that cycle of desperation and neediness. Let's face the facts. She's not coming back because she magically realized you're the love of her life. She's coming back because the fear of facing life alone is greater than the desire to look for something better. And you know what's even worse? If you don't realize this and open the door for her again, you'll be accepting to be her security blanket, the guy she chooses when there's nothing better available. So let me be straight. If you accept this, you're condemning yourself to a life of mediocrity, always being the backup plan, the guy she uses when she's afraid of the dark. And honestly, you deserve much more than being the temporary solution to her fear. You deserve someone who wants to be with you for who you are, not because she's terrified of being alone. So, the next time she shows up, think carefully. Is she there because she truly wants to be with you, or because she's running away from the loneliness she doesn't know how to face? Don't be the fool who falls for this. Be the man who values himself, who knows his own worth, and who doesn't accept being anyone's emotional spare tire. You're better than that, and it's time to start acting like it. It's time for the truth, my friend. You can't keep deceiving yourself, clinging to illusions, or staying trapped in this cycle that only drags you down. It's time to open your eyes and understand that you're worth much more than being the second option, the backup plan, or the antidote to someone's loneliness. If this woman truly wanted you, she wouldn't be playing these games. She wouldn't be using you as an emotional convenience. Life is too short for you to settle for crumbs, to accept less than you deserve. It's time to take control of your life and decide that you won't be manipulated anymore, that you won't accept being anyone's emotional spare tire. From now on, you're the one who sets the rules of the game, and the first step is to distance yourself from everything and everyone who doesn't truly value you. If this message opened your eyes, if it made you reflect on how you've been handling your relationships, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Here, we're not here to coddle you. We're here to tell you what you need to hear to grow, evolve, and become the best version of yourself. Stay tuned because there's much more coming. Until the next video, and remember, you're the prize, and only those who truly value you deserve to be by your side.